Hi everyone! To make a really beautiful gift set today, I'm going to use a collection not long ago released by Monica, a crafting with quilling lady, Art Deco Style, which includes 8 stunning papers and 4 A4 sheets of cut parts, full and full jam-packed cut parts. These are gorgeous. I will leave links to her video and also to her collection in the description box below. To start, I'm going to get a white heavyweight cardstock cut to 11 by 7.5 inches. And I am scoring down at 2.5 inches on all 4 sides. You can see me going back and forth in there quite a bit because it's heavyweight, it's a 300 GSM cardstock. And I want to create lovely, nice, crisp score lines or fold lines. And then using my scissors, I'm going to release a tab in each corner, so 4 of those all together. So I'm just cutting up to the horizontal score line and then cut wedges away from either side of the tabs. I just grabbed the wrong scissors there. I swapped them out for the proper one now, and this just goes much smoother. So again, I'm cutting up to the score line horizontally and then cut away little wedges from either side of those tabs. And I'm gonna repeat exactly the same on the other side as well. Once that's done, just using my bone folder, I'm creating lovely crisp fold lines in them, just making sure that I burnish all the score lines properly. I keep going back and forth until they are nice and crisp. Then I'm going to use my Collage glue because it's going to leave it nice and strong. And the tab that is left in the middle is the one that I'm going to put on the outside because it's a full square and it's just going to give it nicer finished look. So the 2 little tabs that I cut wedges away, I'm going to put on the inside, gluing on top of each other, and then I'm finishing off closing it all up with the full square in the middle. And this is the box almost ready, but I want to strengthen up the bottom of it as well, because at the end of the day, this is going to be a gift box or gift bag, and I want it to be nice and strong. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock to just under 2.5 by 6 inches. So it's about 2 3/8 by 5 7/8. So just 1/8 of an inch down on either direction, and this will fit very nicely on the bottom of my box. I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to bring in some nestable die sets. More often than not, you would have seen me use the one from Chloe's Creative Cards. I'm going to use ovals today, by the way. But today I'm going to use the ones from Creative Craft Products from Craft Stash. The plain ovals I will be using for the base, and the filigree ones for decorative purposes more. But any oval die sets you may have in your stash, I think this would work perfectly. You might need to adjust some sizes, you'll see in a minute. So I'm taking the larger size of these ovals, the plain ones, and I've cut out twice of heavyweight white cardstock. Then I took the next one down, the second largest one, and I cut out 2 of a printed paper of Monica's collection. They are just stunning, really beautiful. And then with the next one down, so it's the third largest size, I cut out of craft cardstock. Now this is going to be quite optional. You'll see why I use it in a minute, but you don't need to cut these bits out. But I just thought the way I like to craft, it just made sense for me to use these as well. I'm going to start working with the largest, the white ovals that I've cut out. I put the other ones to the side for now. And I'm going to bring in the box that we just created a little minute ago. Now, because these ovals are quite wide, so they will, the box is 6 inches wide and it will reach from side to side when I lift it up a bit. If your ovals are narrower that you have in your stash, then make your box just a little bit shorter. So I am pushing it up as far as I can where it reaches from side to side, so the box does not overhang. If I pulled it down, do you see how the box overhangs a bit? I don't want that to be there. So I'm pulling it up until the oval quite covers up or completely covers up the sides of the box. And now you can see how I am using my grid mat to make sure everything is nice and straight. Now a grid mat is a bit tricky with the oval in there, but I think I'm quite good at eyeballing it. However, you could always mark the halfway with a little pencil and just work over those points. Now once I'm happy with the placement with a pencil, I just mark the bottom of my box, and this is where I'm going to cut away. I put the 2 on top of each other this way. I am really sure that they will be cut the same way. and just lined up the pencil line in the groove of my cutting board or trimmer, and now I have two equal white parts. Now I'm taking the smaller oval and I am lining up to a lovely even border. You can make the border smaller or larger the way that you like it the most. So now I am going to line these two up again, and I'm going to cut away together on my trimmer just as well. The pencil line lines up nicely in the cutting groove, and this way I am sure that I have two equal ovals in there. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the craft one. This is a bit smaller, so the border will be a little bit bigger in there, but it needs to be bigger, and this will make sense in a little while. There's a reason why I cut it even smaller. So I'm just doing exactly the same thing, marking my line. I'm lining the two up and cutting them together. Now this craft card is quite heavy, so I need to go back and forth a couple times with my blade, but it does cut beautifully. I have to say I'm really happy with this product. The Cut and Score paper trimmer from Craft Stash by Creative Craft Products is one of my favorite cutting tools lately. I love using it, and I use it for scoring quite a bit too. And now, just before I start assembling, adding the sides to my box, I'm going to layer the paper onto the white cardstock, or it's a thinner cardstock that I printed this on. I think they're like 170 to 190 GSM, while the white cardstock is 300 GSM. So with the color glue, this will be very, very sturdy. And now you can see how the design is not completely straight in there, and that was deliberate because I've already created one set of these, and I will show it to you at the end of this video. And on that one, I've cut my design not straight, unintentionally, and I love the look of it. So I decided to deliberately go at an angle when I place my oval die over the top of the design. Before attaching the sides to my box, I'm going to use my crocodile to create little holes on, and I line them up because that way I'm sure that I'm going to put the hole into the same location on each. But you can use a pokey tool if you don't have a crocodile. It really doesn't matter. You can just use a pokey tool or a little piercing tool, a needle, larger needle, whatever it is that you like using to create little holes in your projects. And then I cut a strip of craft cardstock to 9.5 inches long, and this is just over half an inch. I think it's like 5/8 of an inch in width. I'm adding a little curve into it, just using my bone folder, and I'm going to add a little hole with my crocodile again. I'm going as close to the end as I can without the fear of tearing it. So once I can line them up, I'm going to attach this with brads. Now, this is a technique I never done before, and I absolutely love the results. So I find this heart shaped one, which I love the color of. But I don't like the heart shape. I didn't want to use hearts. So I find two of these square brads in my stash. And I was thinking of what way I can make it that brassy look. And I find the tarnished brass wow embossing powder in my stash. Now you don't have to have this, you can use gold. In fact, my first thought was to use gold for this, but because I find that heart and I really love the color of that, and then I find this in my stash, I really wanted to use this one here today. So after dipping the brad into my embossing ink pad, I sprinkled the embossing powder on it, and I'm heating up my heat tool to make sure that it's really nice and hot. I'm going to hold the brad with a pair of tweezers because it's gonna get quite hot in there, and I'm going to melt it. And while it is still hot, I'm going to dip this back into the embossing powder. It's on the side in there, so I'm going to dip this back while it is still hot, just for much better coverage. And I'm going to heat set this again, and I'm just going to repeat the same process on the second brad as well. And now from two brads that I was not likely to use in my stash, I created some lovely personalized ones that matches my set perfectly. It's almost like the heart that I really am happy with these results. But as I said, if you only have gold metallic embossing powder in your stash, that would work just absolutely perfectly as well. So I'm just doing exactly the same to the second one, dipping it in, and I'm going to heat set it and double dipped it as well, just like I showed you with the first one. So now to attach the handle, that we cut out of craft cardstock earlier on. I'm going to push this through the handle first, and then the sides of the bag or the box, and then the same on the other side. And now you can see how the split ends of the brads show on the inside. I don't necessarily love that look. So this is the reason why I created or cut out of the craft cardstock those smaller ovals. The reason I went smaller, because the same size as the pattern paper wouldn't have fit in there because of the box inside. So that's why I went a little bit smaller. Once this is glued down and the glue properly set, it will kind of glue the ends of the brads in place. So the brad will not move, but it will be locked in the position that you set it in there. The handle, however, will be still able to move. So this is a good way of adding handle to your bags if you need to get the handle moving out of the way to be able to add some presents in there. Now, with the filigree die set, I cut out one size of craft cardstock and then a smaller one of the plain ovals that fits perfectly on top. I'm going to layer these on top of each other, and then I'm going to use some foam pads to attach this to the side of the bag. And by the way, I just checked online if these oval dies are still available on Craftstash, and I could find the filigree ones, not the plain ones, but there's so many other die sets, nestable die sets that are on offer today. So when I'm doing this voiceover, it is the 2nd of November, it's a Saturday, and they have the offers on nice. So go over and check them out. I will leave some links in the description box below. You could see the lot of cutter parts that I sat down and cut out. These are so gorgeous from the same collection as the papers are. And on this one, I'm going to use these shoes, a feather, and a brooch, but I used different things on the previous set that I created. And stay tuned to the end of this video because I will give you a peek into that one as well. It's using the same set, just different papers and different clip arts or cutter parts. So some of the things I'm popping up on foam pads for a little dimension. Some of them I'm just gluing straight onto the ovals. And this is the bag, gift box bag ready. How cute is this? It's so lovely and it's quite spacious. It's 2.5 by 2.5 by 6 inches on the box, but obviously you can add a taller present inside as well. So for the second piece of this gift set, I'm going to create a tag. I thought about the colors. I cut out white with the filigree. Same filigree dye is on the bag. This craft cardstock is slightly larger than that white oval was in there. You can see how it leaves just a less border of that filigree. It's another lovely look. And with a smaller one, I cut out of the same pattern paper as is on the bag. Glued them on top of each other using collard glue, and I'm just going to add a little hole towards the top to create the tag. I have an eyelet here, but I didn't have any brassy color eyelets again. This is just plain silver. I'm going to set it with my crocodile tool. Again, this is optional because you can add ribbons through that hole so no one would see if there's an eyelet or not. I just wanted to play with this technique again to make it matching. But this time I'm going to use the brush tool from Wow Embossing Powder, and there's just a sticky ink, the same as on the embossing ink pads. I brush it all around the eyelet, and I'm going to sprinkle the same embossing powder, the tarnished brass, over it as I did earlier on my little brads. Again, while it's hot, I added another layer of those, and I hit set it. How gorgeous it is. And to decorate this again, I'm going to reach for the cutter parts that I already cut out, but I'm going to add a little piece of vellum, and I'm just tearing this just roughly. I'm not even measuring it to size. Just so it mutes down some of that background. You can see how chaotic it would be without the vellum. The vellum mutes some of that background down a bit, so when I add my elements, it will look lovely, not chaotic. So to some of those, I apply some foam pads, some of them, again, just glued straight onto the tag. I'm using a champagne bottle and 2 champagne glasses. I heat emboss Let's Celebrate from the Moonstone by Hunky Dory stamp and die set, and this is the Elegant Sentiments, Lovely Wishes. And I just heat embossed it and cut it out with a matching die. I'm adding some foam pads to some of these elements, and I just add them off camera. There's no point just showing you how I don't want to drag this video out to be too long. Just a little bit of a craft twine through that hole that I created in there. I'm threading it through the little filigree details to pull it to the back. And just like that, a matching tag with the gift bag is ready. Now this is going to be a 3-piece gift set. So for the third piece, I'm going to create a very simple notelet or little note card, which measures 4 by 4 inches. The craft card measures 3 3/4 of an inch square and 3.5 inches square for the pattern paper. I'm adding the same ovals as I cut out for the bag earlier on, so a filigree craft cardstock and a plain white on top. And from the elements, pussycat elements, I'm picking just for each sentiment from the same sentiment set as earlier on, and from the clip arts, a dress. I'm not going to use that feather, but I'm going to use a set of earrings. It is so pretty, honestly. The video does not do them justice, honestly. You're going to have to see this for yourself. Check out the link in the description box below. Such a beautiful collection by Monica. A lot of room to add a to and from at the back of the tag, quite a lot of room to write a little note on the note card, and the bag itself is very spacious. And again, because I use the collal glue, which leaves it nice and sturdy, you can add something heavier, a little heavier into this bag as well. So I will leave a link to the collal glue that I use in the description box below if you would like to check that out. Now, if you don't want to decorate your bag, you could just tie your tag onto the handle, and that would work as well. But my idea for this is to add the present on the inside of the bag and add the tag on the wrapped present itself. Now, this is the previous set that I created. I just used different clip arts and different papers from the same collection. I absolutely love the teal turquoise feel of these. The colors are gorgeous, the clip arts are gorgeous, and the quality of everything is really nice. It prints so very well. So these are the 2 sets that I created. It's very hard to fit everything into my screen, so I added some close-up images in here for you. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please do not forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Make sure to check out Monica's video below where she talks in more detail about her newest collection. And I'd love to read something on your thoughts on this gorgeous gift set in the comment section below. Please hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload my next video. I really hope to see you then. Until then, bye! Thanks for watching!